What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Gene.
This is Francis.
And this is Phoenix 15 Studios Tech with a very special birthday episode. In the effort of trying to further my wife's artistic endeavors and her ways to express herself, this was her birthday gift this year. This is the Cintiq 24 Pro. It's a 24-inch art tablet. It's almost like a TV or a monitor. It's pretty big. We're gonna unbox this today for you guys so she can share in her excitement. And then we'll do a follow-up video on Phoenix 15 Studios Arts and Crafts, showing how you can create with this and all the features and things that it has. So we'll unbox it today and talk a little bit about the features it has and let you get a look at it out of the box. All right, here we go. The honors are yours.
I'm so excited.
This box is huge. 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 It's huge. Okay.
This thing is heavy.
I
think there's pieces in it. That's right.
Set this up here.
Good.
Oh, got some weight to it.
You got it?
It's not light at all. Not heavy, but not something you want to be carrying around at all.
This also has some pieces to it.
Okay. All right. Pretty uneventful unboxing. It's out of the box, so let's see what comes with this fine device. So my initial thought was to go for the Microsoft Surface Studio. We've been kind of eyeballing that thing since it was released. We stumbled upon it in a Best Buy. We were just walking through. I think we were looking for monitors for my setup and saw that thing set up, and it was just like, oh my god, what is this? And they had the whole display and
I was so excited.
What is it? The dial?
Yeah, the dial. Yeah.
That dealy. Then we looked at the price.
Killer.
Starting at $3,500. I'm sorry, $3,499. Going almost $5,000 fully decked out. And when I say fully decked out, I mean 2 terabit hard drive. Still an i7 processor, not a horrible processor. I talked a little bit about that processor in my video upgrading this fine rig here. Check that out on Phoenix 15 Studios Tech as well. But i7 processor, very capable, but once you get into heavy editing, photography, video, things like that, it can get taxed a bit. So 2 terabit hard drive, i7 processor, RAM, you have a choice of 16 or 32, but the kicker is you cannot upgrade it. The RAM, the GPU, and the RAM, the CPU, and the GPU, I think are all soldered to the motherboard, so you can't upgrade it. So that kind of took that whole thing out of the race, as it were. We revisited it before we went for this, but decided this was probably the better bet. And from everything we've watched and seen, I think we made a pretty good choice. Sorry, Microsoft. So let's get this unsheathed. All 24 inches of glory here. There we go. Nice and all. Wow.
I'm so ready.
So it has flip out legs here, so you can actually work on it at an angle.
20 degrees to be exact.
Yeah, so as we're taking this out and kind of looking at the overall construction of it. I mean, this thing, the legs are actually metal, which is something I was thinking about. They're not plastic, so you don't have to worry about you know, bending them or cracking them. From what we hear, the stand that is available for this is needed. I guess we'll see that after a bit of usage, and we'll do a follow-up on that. But this seems like a pretty decent angle for drawing. They also mentioned that a standing desk would work.
Would work, yes.
As far as the angle, but the finish on the screen, it's not, I wouldn't say completely matte, but it's definitely not glossy. Has a bit of a texture to it, but it's clean, as you can see. There's no kind of built-in buttons or controls at all, and that's something they phased out with this model here. There used to be hard controls, but we'll like talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So what did you have in your arm there?
So I was so lucky to get the power cord.
Essential.
Yes, the power cord.
That's exciting.
That came in the bottom part,
since
the bottom half.
Since you got robbed on that side,
woo!
I will hand that on over to you so that you may do the honors there.
Okay.
So this is available in I believe 13, 16,
24 and 32.
And 32.
Yes.
We went with the 24 because spec-wise, it looked like it kind of had an edge on the other sizes for various different reasons. The only upside to the 16 that I saw when I was shopping around was that it came with a stand of some sort. It wasn't the ergo stand. It was a smaller stand. Well, still a stand nonetheless, but that one didn't have built-in legs either, so it's kind of a trade-off. The other trade-off with that is, and we'll get to that in a little bit, for any external control or use of the system controls, there's an optional remote which costs $99.99 that you'd have to buy in addition to the 16. So the remote comes with the 24, so that was part of my decision in going with the higher model. And this just allows you to zoom in, zoom out.
It has the dials. You can program the whole entire thing to whatever it is that you're going to be working on, whether you need to zoom in, zoom out, like you were saying, whether you need to switch different programs, whatever you need to erase, go back, or anything like that. This pretty little remote here does it all. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. You can macro it, and it eliminates you. It kind of, you got one hand on this and one hand drawing. So as you're doing what you're doing, you don't have to stop, find the control on the screen or in the software. You can actually use this, and this thing,
it's pretty
got
heavy,
some weight to
right?
it. It's got some weight to it.
I'm not sure if you guys can actually see it. I'm gonna try to tilt this up a little bit. So right about here is perfect. So you can see the border on the outside, the rim around it. You can actually put the remote anywhere around the rim of the tablet.
Yeah, so they say mounting it basically. You're just gonna kind of sit it along the side. It won't slide off. It's supposed to just kind of hang there.
You can also hold it in your hand if you want to.
Via the power of gravity. Okay, so we see why. So I guess along with the surface of this feels like a metal frame, but the back of this is kind of a rubber.
Right.
So it has a grip to it. Yep. So when you sit it here, yeah, that's not going anywhere. Look. It's not going anywhere. So that's the deal with the control. So, that's magnetized.
Yeah, on the edges it is. And you can put it on top of the actual screen part that you're going to be working on. If it's tilted at a certain angle, it won't slide off. I probably won't recommend you actually doing it. There's spaces around it for you to actually put it on. But from what I understand and from some of the videos that we were watching, you can put it on the actual screen while you're working on it if you had to for whatever reason. It's there. Yay.
Yep. So, and I didn't know that it was magnetized, but that's pretty cool. But left-handed, right-handed.
Yeah, it works either way.
Wherever you need it to go. So that's a pretty cool feature. Another thing that they said was an upgrade with this model is that the decrease of the space between the actual drawing surface and the actual screen under reduces parallaxing, so you don't have situations where your pen is here and there's millimeters where your trace is starting. So it kind of gives you a more accurate pinpoint to surface feature there. I can't wait to see it powered up and on. We were also looking into an additional accessory that this had way back.
Yes.
When it came out.
We're not 100% sure whether it's still available or not.
I don't think it is, but
Wacom,
even if it was,
can let us know. Maybe hit us up. We'll tag you guys on it and let us know whether or not it actually is still available. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. It was the Wacom.
Pro Engine.
Pro Engine, there you go.
Which would turn this into an actual all-in-one computer.
Yeah, so this would make this a standalone unit. You wouldn't need to hook it up to a computer or anything like that.
But we're not sure if it's actually still available.
When it was available, the price was pretty hefty.
Yes.
So it would take a $2,000 purchase all the way up to a $5,000 or $6,000 purchase, depending on which component you got, because one had different. One had an i5, one had an i7. So to make this into a standalone Windows unit, I don't know if we would have paid that, because we have 19 computers in this house and they're all pretty capable of running all the software and everything. And it's not like we plan on carrying this around, anywhere. And if we do, we do. But yeah, no.
Yeah, this thing's pretty, guys. This thing's pretty big.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice size tablet, and the drawing surface, even with the bordering, you can see the drawing surface is pretty large. So your drawing surface is actually 24 inches. So the actual tablet is probably a little bigger, the whole unit. But definitely, from what I'm seeing and feeling right now, man, this is sturdy. It's got a lot of weight to it.
Yes, it's
there are metal components. It does not feel cheap in any way, shape, or form. Seems like a very well-made, very minimalistic styling. Not a whole lot of buttons and gadgets. So that's really, really cool to see. When you spend that type of money, you want it to be, to feel like you paid for what you got. And I'm definitely feeling that way right now. The vents for the fan to cool the unit are all across the top here. We've heard some people say they're loud. Some people never mentioned it at all.
Yeah,
outside
some
of the
said
port stand there.
It was much quieter than another unit that they had. But I guess I'll see when I start working with it. Yeah. It might not even affect me at all, so who knows?
Yeah. So we'll see. We shall see.
All right. So we have various different components for plugging this into your computer. We have a HDMI here. And this is a regular USB. Looks like it's a regular USB cable.
So there are several ways to hook this up to the computer. So one thing we heard consistently and read is that people that had previous versions of this were happy that it came with pretty much every port you need to get this up and going.
This one does.
So yeah, this is USB to USB.
Yep.
And
just to let you know, there are 2 USB ports on both sides of the tablet here. There's 2 on this side and 2 on this side. So we have, so we just talked about USB to USB. This is a HDMI to HDMI. And we have
pretty straightforward wiring. This is actually
this one.
This is a a display port.
Yeah.
So this is a DP.
This is the HDMI.
Very similar connections if you're not familiar with DPs. Looks like an HDMI, but has a little notch on one side.
Yes.
Actually straight on one side, and the other side is exactly like an HDMI. So, they deliver sound and video. So that's DP to DP. This is HDMI to HDMI. There's a lot of wires in this thing, and these are pretty thick wires. They're not like cheap, you know. If they get crimped or stepped on by mistake, obviously you don't want to roll over them 1,000 times. You want to kind of keep them clear of anything like that. But if it were to happen, you know, I think these would hold up pretty well. All of them are pretty high gauge.
This is USB-C cable, which we did a little we watched a little bit some videos, and they were telling us that although the cable is in here and it's provided, that it might not be the best connection with your computer because it would lose some of the power. Like I think that's
so you use some of the image fidelity when going running video from USB-C, which is an option. But with that option, you're going to lose some of the resolution.
Right.
So it's recommended that you use some of the other ports. But I think we'll try them all just to kind of see if there's a huge difference. But a cord's a cord. You're going to run one, you're going to run another. Doesn't really matter. But if you're going to lose performance based off using one or the other, the recommendation was to use USB or the DisplayPort cable. So
and we have a little bit more, some more goodies. So this new upgraded model has the, bear with me guys, I'm trying to open it up here. Okay, here we go. Has this cool stand. Okay. And the one that they had before was a little different. I think the pen didn't sit in here very well. It kind of wiggled around.
It was kind of cylinder.
Yeah.
Small cylinder, about that tall. And you sat the pen in it, but apparently it was kind of, high center of gravity. Kind of got toppled pretty easily.
Yeah, you can. So, and this pretty cool thing. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Maybe not. It's supposed to turn it and it opens.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so they provided some additional nibs for your pen.
In a nifty secret compartment.
Isn't it cool?
So, and the other cool thing is this.
There's 10 nibs here, guys.
And this seems to be a pretty common motif with this thing so far. Everything has a nice weight to it. It does, and this is solid metal. So this won't tip over as easily as the previous model. From everything we heard, the pen itself is not very heavy from what we've heard.
It is not. It is actually, I'm holding the pen right now, guys. This is what it looks like. It is not heavy at all. And unlike the remote, which will last probably a very long time with the charge, when you charge it, eventually the remote will need to get powered on again. There is a cable for you to charge it, but the pen, you don't need to charge. There's no batteries. I think somebody said it was magic. It was magic.
The technology
is magical because it doesn't have battery. You don't plug it in, you don't charge it. It just works. So, and you put it on your stands like so.
And you just sit it off on your desk, and when you're ready to rock, just unsheath your sword. Shoink!
Yep, and so, it also comes, it has one more little part, which I'm not sure where it actually goes.
Actually up on this portion, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, up here, right here. So it has this little part, which if you don't want to use the stand that it comes with, you can use this other little part that you kind of like snap on there, and you can actually put it, you can stand it up if you want to stand it up, or if you're putting it away, you can kind of like slide it in and the pen is put away.
The other thing, and we'll look more into it, but there are a few different types of pens that do different things. But this thing, it feels really good. It has a kind of
like a little rubber,
a bulge here at the end to rest your fingers on when you're drawing. One of the things I heard mentioned about previous models is this button was kind of flush with everything else in this portion of the pen. But now they've added kind of a metal bezel around it, so you kind of know when you're getting into that territory when you go from the rubber portion to the metal, so you're not hitting this button by mistake.
Right.
So those are one of the things we kind of heard and kind of excited about. The erase feature, this is kind of a spring-loaded plastic eraser. From what we saw, it works really well. Super accurate, man. It was kind of weird to watch because you can't really get an idea for it when you're not using it, but watching it, it almost looks like a simulation. It doesn't look real, but here we are.
So it also obviously it has a instruction booklet here
that we probably won't read. I'm not reading it.
We don't ever read them. But anyways, and it comes with a cloth for you to clean.
So
your beautiful.
The screen obviously is going to take some stains. It's black. If you have sweaty hands like me, it's gonna get smeared up pretty quickly. You don't want to go rubbing on this thing with anything. So definitely, if you got some microfiber cloths, you know, or keep this one handy. Tuck it under the display so you have it when you need it.
Smudgy fingers.
But yeah,
it's pretty thick. It's pretty thick.
Let's just get rid of the garbage.
All right.
So we're getting rid of garbage, and we're gonna flip this over and look at the I/O a little bit, just really quick. I'm not gonna get too techie on you.
It is an unboxing, so
yeah. So we'll show you, and we'll get close-ups of these, but you have two USBs on this side. You have two USBs on this side, and the other thing on this side is an SD card expansion. So if you want to save projects on an SD card and kind of, you know, take your Photoshop projects to another machine or whatever, you can do that with ease without actually having to transport it to a computer and then put it to a piece of media, a media storage device. Makes it pretty easy for you to do that.
I think this is an audio jack.
Let's see. Yes. So another interesting thing we saw last night, and I'm kind of leery about laying this on the table.
Oh.
Give us 1 second. Hey. All right. So. This all worked out. This portion here, which I'm gonna try not to break this. Let's see. All right, so that was a little rough.
It's just that we didn't break it. It's just the back panel.
Yeah.
For you to actually pop out.
So basically, this panel hides your I/O, kind of keeps it with a clean, flush look on the bottom. I don't know how much of a fan I am of that because that wasn't like super easy to get off. It was a little rough. You would think there would be some type of latch or something where you can kind of grab that off.
Then again, once you plug it in, I don't really think you're gonna.
Yeah, and even if you had it on an arm or an ergo arm or something like that on your desk, it's really not going to need to come off and on too often. This portion here, this little nub, is basically probably a receiver for the remote, so that you can control the unit remotely. You have one display port jack here, HDMI, and one USB. So one port for every wire this thing came with. I did not see the USB-C.
It's right here.
Okay, so USB-C is way over yonder. What I do like are these little cable ties here. So these cable ties, you're basically going to run the cables from the ports on each respective side. You'll put this back on, and then it has a little clearance here for you to run the cables out of, so that it's kind of a clean look, and you don't have the wires all loose under here. You have two cable ties here to tie those cables down and bring them up through that little notch they've made. I guess we'll see how that works out once we actually hook it up. I'm going to leave this off because I do not want to go, because it actually feels like you're breaking it when you take it off. It's not broken, but you really have to pry this off. It's only pretty good.
It has the Wacom logo on it.
Yeah. See? I don't know. I don't know. All right. So, also looking at the bottom, this whole bottom portion is kind of rubberized, which is great because my wife has a glass desk.
Yes.
Very smooth surface, so this is definitely going to catch really well on the desk.
Bottom of the stand is also, the tips of it is also rubber, so it won't slide anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere unless you want it to go somewhere. So.
Yeah, and if you're a person who's going to work on this flat on the desk, they even have little rubber bumpers that give it a little lift, give it a slight angle so it's not completely flat on the desk. A nice little raised rubber feet here.
Yep.
I am very impressed with the build of this thing, man. It's super, super, super nice. It looks like what it's supposed to look like. It's very well made. It's kind of like one of my wife's favorite movies, Space Odyssey. The black monolith.
No, please, no. Oh my God.
It's her favorite.
Oh,
she loves it.
It's definitely not.
She loved the ending. It was one of the best endings in movie history, according to her.
I have
words.
I have a thing with endings. So if it ends, like if the movie was okay or great or whatever throughout the whole thing, and the ending sucked,
that movie was awesome.
The movie sucked. I'm sorry, but regardless,
not true.
That's my opinion.
Hopefully, this tablet ends better than that movie, according to my wife.
This is nothing compared to that movie.
I liked it.
But
it was good.
I'm speaking with regards to this tablet. I've been wanting this for a very long time. I have a friend. We both have a friend. His name is Steve, and I've talked to him. Steve. Hi, Steve. I've talked to him a lot with regards to getting a new drawing tablet and getting one. Where should I get it? Which one should I get? Does it matter? Should I get a really cheap one? And should I get an all-in-one thing or this and that? And he's given us his opinion, and not that we didn't trust his opinion, but I know there's some, you could buy these tablets on Amazon for like really cheap, non-name brand, obviously. But my husband, he got me the Wacom Cintiq Pro, the 24, and I am so excited. So, I mean, like really, really excited.
So another thing to mention with this model, I think our only experience with Wacom is either at a bank where you use a little tablet to sign something. We also had a small bamboo tablet.
Yeah, the really small one.
Which is not a display tablet. It's just kind of a drawing surface.
Right.
So you draw on the tablet, and whatever you draw appears on the screen.
Yes.
This thing was like a little bit bigger than your average mouse pad, so it wasn't a huge surface.
Yeah.
But it worked.
It did. Cool. It worked. It was cool. It was one of those things where like,
Yeah.
But I kind of let this go for a while, like years.
Yeah, I mean,
we were like, I'm like, whatever.
We bought that almost 5 or 6 years ago.
Probably before, even longer than that.
It was after we got back to Jersey.
Anyways, I kind of also gave up on like getting one of these because I'm like, man, I'm probably never gonna get one. Whatever, you know. It was far from my mind. And my husband goes and says, hey, I got something I want to buy you, but I have to talk to you about it first because it's a little pricey.
Stupid expensive. For us, like I hear some people talk about it and they're just like, oh, well, I bought this because I needed a spare tablet. No, like this is a major purchase for us.
This is a major purchase. Very. So he had to talk to me about it. Well, this was a major purchase, but what he was thinking of buying prior to this was a bigger purchase. So I didn't know what he was thinking about when he told me the price, and I'm like, there is nothing that I want that's that much. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you've been looking at. There's just nothing that I want that's that expensive. What are you talking about? I couldn't think. I mean, I was scratching my head and I'm like, no, don't get it. Whatever it is, don't get it. I don't want it. And then it's one of those things that starts gnawing at you and you're like, I knew what it was. Because then he wouldn't tell me after I said no. And so I kept asking him, what is it? What was it? What was it that you were planning to get me? And I'm like, he's like, I'm not gonna tell you. And I'm like, please tell me. And he's like, fine. So he finally told me, and together, he's like, surprise. But together we were able to make a decision that after some more further research, after what he had already researched, we did more research after that, and I decided to go with this one. Well, actually, I didn't decide to go with this one. I wanted the 22.
16.
And it wasn't even, no, 22, but it wasn't even a Pro. It was just
Cintiq 22.
Cintiq 22.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, what do you want to get? What do you want to get? I was like, you know what? You pick. You get whatever you think is good. And I said, and I don't care about the shipping because it'll get here when it gets here. Guys, this thing, he ordered it on the 16th and we just got it yesterday. So
I'm impatient when I want something.
He's very impatient. He has no patience.
It's not even for me, and I just wanted it.
And my birthday is not till the 19th, which is Saturday. This is my birthday present. And I said,
it's not like she didn't know what it was.
He hit it, but it's not even about that. He hit it, and then when I came in yesterday, he's like, "Hey, and I'm like, "Oh, but it's great." And then I'm looking at it. I was like, "Wait, that's not what we talked about getting." He was like, surprise! So, but I'm actually happy that he got this one because we ended up watching a few more videos and there was a lot of positive reviews for the Cintiq Pro 24.
Specifically the 24.
Yeah, between the 24 and the 32, I think
the one thing that stood out to me as far as the 32 was one of the artists that reviewed it said that when you're sitting at a desk and you don't have the ergo arm where you can move and manipulate the position of this thing, and you have it sitting on the desk, to reach the outer edges of the screen to do any detail, you have to have a standing desk because that position is just so high on the 32. It's uncomfortable to work in that region of the screen.
Right.
So he said this was proportionally just a little more comfortable to work on, to reach all ranges of the screen.
But I think he said that if there was one between a 24 and a 32, like a 27 inch,
he would be okay with that.
He would be perfect with that size. That would be like the best size for him. But it doesn't have a 27 inch. So
sure it does.
Not yet. Anyways, I'm not sure if they're planning to make one or not. But I'm happy with this one.
I'm happy with the purchase, man. I can't wait to see it fired up and running, and we're gonna do some cool videos with this. We'll do the, just the kind of walkthrough of, features with the remote screen and everything. More than likely, we're gonna be using Photoshop because we're predominantly Adobe. I don't know if this comes with any free software. I guess we'll find that out.
I'm not sure.
And see what other types of software are available for it, and what the opinions are as far as what the best software is to use for it. I'm not an artist, my wife is. But another interesting thing we saw is this can be used for
music,
video, and audio editing.
Yes.
I didn't know that. So I'm curious to see what software is compatible with that feature. But this would be a dream to edit video on, because, even with my ginormous screen back here, I still feel like I need dual monitors to kind of separate all your panels and kind of work on your project and be able to preview it, you know, seamlessly. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes, and
we'll definitely have more videos.
Yeah, more videos coming on the Cintiq Pro 24. If you have one or thinking about buying one, please comment. Let us know, you know, what your thoughts are.
Yes.
And, if you have any questions and we've gotten to that point in use yet, we'll definitely respond and let you know where we are and what we think about it so far.
If you wanted to also know where he purchased it,
yeah,
he can let you know as well.
Absolutely.
Because I believe, you know, we got a pretty, you know, standard price for it, but you know, there was financing available and everything like that.
There's no price variation on the market at all.
No, they're all pretty much
$1,999.99 across the board wherever you look. We actually got this financed through Dell. Dell has a great financing program, and 12 months interest free on a purchase like this for us is perfectly comfortable. So by all means, take a look at their website. This is our unit. This is not a paid review.
Yes.
We bought this unit. It's ours. It wasn't sent to us. So,
but if Wacom sees it and they want to send me another one to test out or something, please feel free. Send it. I would love to.
Right on, Wacom. All right. Yeah, so I mean that's all we have for right now.
It's nice.
We are gonna get off this camera and get on a computer and get this baby fired up, see what it does. So be on the lookout for that next video.
Yeah.
And as we progress with it and get more projects done, we'll post away.
We will.
Please comment, like, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications on all of our episodes on Phoenix 15 Studios Tech. We actually have 4 channels, which you can find in our channels section below. Just tap channels, you'll see Phoenix 15 Studios Tech, along with Phoenix 15 Studios Arts and Crafts. We have a channel for gaming and we have a channel for music. So feel free to kind of peruse all those channels. If you like what you see, give us a like, give us a subscription, and we would greatly appreciate you going to our website at www.phoenix15studios.com, where you can find all of our affiliate partnerships and some great deals. So check those out.
We'll
click on the links. It helps our channel.
We'll have them down below as well.
So we appreciate your support. If you have any questions, we hope to see you in the comments. Talk to you soon.
See, listen, learn, and love. I'm so excited!